Single dad, Janitor yelled. Don't eat that dessert. At CEO, then she parked her Ferrari at his door. The gala at the five-star hotel was brimming with crystal chandeliers, whispered deals, and desserts plated like works of art. CEO Alina Moretti, known for her fierce business instincts and her bright red Ferrari, walked the floor with practiced grace. Everyone admired her and feared her, but one person didn't. From the corner, Daniel Reyes, the night janitor and a single dad, struggling to provide for his little girl, noticed something off. He had seen the catering crew earlier, and one tray of desserts had been left unattended. He knew enough about kitchens and enough about shady people to recognize the bitter smell clinging to one of the chocolate mousses, and then Elena reached for it. Don't eat that dessert. Daniel's voice cut through the music like a blade. The entire ballroom went silent. Gasps followed as the janitor, mop in hand, rushed forward. Security moved in, ready to drag him out for daring to shout at the most powerful woman in the room. But Daniel wasn't wrong. A quick test revealed the mousse had been laced, a quiet attempt to poison the CEO, instead of anger. Elena's sharp eyes softened as she stared at him. You just saved my life. That night, Daniel went back to his small apartment, expecting nothing more than trouble for causing a scene. His daughter, Lily, was asleep on the couch with her homework still open. Daniel kissed her forehead, whispered a prayer, and turned off the light. Minutes later, headlights cut across his living room curtains. A sleek Ferrari purred to a stop outside his door. Elena stepped out, her heels clicking against the cracked pavement of the worn-down complex. You work 2 jobs to keep a roof over her head? She asked, glancing at Lily through the window. Daniel nodded, defensive. We get by. Elena smiled faintly. Not anymore. Tomorrow, you're not mopping floors. You're coming to work for me. Head of security, full benefits, housing for you and your daughter. Daniel blinked, unsure if this was a dream. Why me? Because, Elena said, her eyes unwavering. I trust the man who yelled across a room full of millionaires to save my life. And with that, the janitor's world changed forever. All because he dared to shout 3 words at the right moment. The chandeliers in the regal crown hotel ballrooms spilled golden light across tuxedos, glittering gowns, and polished marble floors. Waiters drifted like shadows with silver trays, carrying desserts crafted by Michelin-starred chefs, velvet chocolate mousse, candied lemon tarts, spun sugar creations that looked too delicate to touch. At the center of it all stood Alina Moretti. At just 35, she was the youngest CEO of Moretti Global, a billion-dollar logistics empire. Her dark hair was pinned back, her diamond earrings shimmered under the lights, and her reputation preceded her. Brilliant, ruthless, untouchable. But, at the edge of the room, pushing a mop bucket, was Daniel Reyes, a man nobody noticed. He wore a faded uniform with the hotel's logo stitched at the chest, sleeves rolled up over calloused arms. His eyes, however, were sharp, the kind of eyes that didn't miss much. Years ago, he'd served in the military, but after his wife's death, all that mattered was raising his daughter Lily. The janitor job paid little, but it was steady, and it kept food on the table. Tonight should have been just another long shift, except Daniel noticed something others didn't. The warning near the buffet. A waiter brought out a fresh tray of desserts. Daniel's nose twitched. Years of survival instincts screamed at him. Something about the chocolate mousse smelled wrong. A faint, acrid bitterness clung to it, barely noticeable unless you'd learned to smell danger before it struck. He followed the tray with his eyes. It stopped right where Alina Moretti stood, laughing politely with investors. She reached for one. Daniel's blood froze. He dropped the mop and shouted, his voice slicing across the music and chatter. Don't eat that dessert. The room fell into stunned silence. Heads turned, gasps rippled. A janitor yelling at the CEO. Security stormed forward, ready to drag him out. Alina raised a hand, her eyes, sharp as glass. locked onto Daniel's. Something about his urgency stopped her. She set the dessert back down, untouched. Test it, she ordered coolly. A hotel manager scrambled, calling over staff. Within minutes, the mousse tested positive, laced with a toxin. Guests whispered in shock. The janitor had been right. Alina turned back to him, her gaze unreadable. Who are you? Daniel, heart pounding, gave a stiff nod. Just the guy who cleans your floors. Aftermath. By the time Daniel finished his shift and trudged home to the small, drafty apartment he shared with Lily, he was drained. His daughter was asleep on the couch, still clutching her math notebook. He tucked the blanket over her and whispered, "Someday, kiddo, things will get better." Then, headlights swept through the blinds. A sleek Ferrari 812 superfast rolled to a stop outside their building. Daniel frowned, stepping out into the cool night air. Alina Moretti herself stepped out, her red heels striking the cracked pavement. She looked entirely out of place among the peeling paint and broken streetlights. Daniel crossed his arms. "If you're here to fire me, just do it quick." Alina tilted her head, studying him. "You think I came here to punish you for saving my life? You looked pretty angry back there." "I wasn't angry," she said softly. "I was calculating. You saw something no one else did. You risked humiliation, even your job, to stop me. Why?" Daniel hesitated, then glanced at the window where Lily slept. "Because I know what it's like to lose someone. I wasn't going to let it happen again if I could stop it." Elena's gaze softened. "You're a father, single dad. She's all I've got." A rare smile touched her lips. "Then I'll get to the point. I need someone I can trust. Someone who doesn't just follow orders, but acts when it matters. Tomorrow morning, you'll come to my office. Head of security, salary that actually lets you breathe, full benefits, housing for you and your daughter." Daniel blinked, stunned. "I'm a janitor. Not anymore." Alina extended her hand. "I don't trust many people, Mr. Reyes, but I trust the man who shouted across a ballroom to save my life." A new beginning that night. Daniel lay awake, listening to Lily's gentle breathing. For the first time in years, he felt hope stir in his chest. He didn't just mop floors anymore. He had a chance to build a real future for his daughter, and all it took was 3 words, shouted at the right moment.